A lot of very interesting news headlines this week that were posted. One of which was 50-year mortgages, which is absolute insanity to me. If you ever consider a 50-year mortgage, I would take a frying pan and bash yourself in the face because that's an absolutely terrible move. Don't ever do that. I don't care how desperate you want a house. I'd rather be homeless. Number two is $2,000 stimulus checks, which a lot of people were correlating to when George Bush gave out, I think, $1,800 checks right before the 2008 financial crash. So obviously, when their expectation is they're going to be a recession or a terrible economy, they're going to try to boost things up by giving a stimulus check. That's the whole point of stimulus checks. You don't give stimulus checks when things are great. You only give stimulus checks when things are about to fall through the floor. So 6-minute abs, there you go. All right, 68.20 here on the S&P. Looking around now that the market is now open, we have a very bright green market. Nvidia is up 3.5. I mean, all of tech is up big time. XLK is up almost 2%. They have the biggest winner of the day by far. Love how they call it Terra dividend. Yeah. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. At this point, the Supreme Court looks like they're going to force Trump to pay the SNAP benefits. Well, again, we'll see if that comes through. So a lot of economic activity out there. Now, the last thing we'll wrap up before we get into the onslaught of back and forth. I guess two things. First this, and then we'll do the giveaways. Now that the government looks like it appears to be opening back up, as long as it passes the House, it looks like they have a funded government finally, even though it's a bunch of nonsense. After that, now it comes with the data postings. We have what, 2 non-farms and 2 CPIs that need to be posted amidst other stuff. What happens when they post that stuff? New home sales, I believe. What happens when they post all this data? Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. You don't know. Who cares? The key point is volatility. Is the uncertainty is going to drive a larger spread in price action, and that's all you need to care about. Forget about bullish and bearishness. Forget about, screaming at the other side. You're bullish. You're bearish. I'm an idiot. I'm a genius. You're an idiot. All that kind of crap. It's all about volatility, widening spreads. If you're a call seller, an option seller, great. You have a fantastic opportunity. If you're an options buyer, great. You have a fantastic opportunity. Let's all hold hands, sing kumbaya, and make boatloads of cash and have beautiful women lick caviar off our toes. It's November 10th here. We've got a beautiful week coming up here before Thanksgiving closures. And yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Giveaway, $50,000 TPT accounts. 2 of them I am posting right now. That was very anticlimactic. Now, there we go. Congratulations to Laura and Rob for winning the TPT accounts. I need you to DM me your information to get started. All right, ES is dead flat. Hasn't moved at all since 2 o'clock this morning. NASDAQ is creeping above here. We are looking for 25,587. They finally cleared that little pivot, and we're going up a little higher. What's up, YouTube? How's it going? How is it going? There we go. 25,890 still climbing. Gold flushed. Yeah, gold's put on a beautiful move. I'm going to spend a lot more time on gold as every time I touch that thing, man, it's like creating gold. It's fantastic. Beautiful, clean setups for the 3Cs. Right now, they've had a beautiful blast up. A little weird, all things considering, I guess, because everyone agrees that this is inflationary. We have 41.15, which has finally taken out the pivot, the breakout that has been stuck in now for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And yeah, all things bullish on gold. Everything is bright green. All markets are bright green, including international markets. Launched. Congratulations, Laura. Don't know if Rob will respond. Can't say I've ever seen him talk on stream. But regardless, if you're here, Rob, come say hi. Everybody have a good weekend. We just had the 5th earliest snow in history, at least back to recorded data of 1891. So interesting. So much for global warming. Super cereal. Now we just need man better pig. How are the bees? The bees are put to bed, baby. They are put to bed. They're winterized. They're fed. They're good to go. What's up, Rob? There he is. Thanks. XLK. XLE is rocking. Oil is getting dumped here. Quiet kid in the back. I love it. TPT took care of me this morning. Thanks for the offer, though. Oh, nice. Good liner. Yeah, they're pretty good at getting back to you. Their customer service will help out, and they'll go out of their way to help you. They're fantastic, as long as you're not doing, being a jabroni. 25,600 here. ES is still going up strong. What's up, Cash? How you doing? Oh, man. VIX is down to 1803. Still quite an elevated VIX. Now, one of the reasons why this week could continue to be a supportive bull market is because we don't really have much other than the releasing of CPI non-farm. I don't know where they're going to do all that. We're not going by the script here. Usually non-farms are the first Friday of the month. I don't know if they're going to post that this Friday or not, or if the government will actually even be open this week. They might be finishing up last-minute agreements. Either way, notwithstanding of the data to be seen, the next big catalysts are all next week. We have OPEX and we have NVIDIA earnings next week. So this could be a bullish kind of tailwind. Prepare for next week volatility. We'll see. Hey Rob, I'll need you to DM me the email you used to sign into TPT, and I'll transfer over the account to your name. 36 hours. There you go. Nasdaq, ES, both still going quite nice. We have liquidity down to 25.5 up to 25,637. On ES, we're still going quite strong. I feel like every morning we're getting these big old blast off moves, baby. Every day, look at that. Except for what, 2 days? Even on the red days, we got blast offs. Going to start my first TPT eval this week. Nice. Any tips for me? Go slow. Have you ever traded props before or just new to TPT? Regardless, just take it easy. Go slow. Don't try to pass it in the minimum days. Just put on a good trade. Remember, it's not about money. It's about the process. One trade a day. That's it. That's all you need. And you can make money. No props ever? Yeah. So more especially. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, man. Just take it slow. Only trade high volume 3C setups. And take it easy. Melt up begins. We'll see. We'll see. Do not use more than one mini. One contract. Stick to ES. You can play whatever you're comfortable with. Just do not use. Like, they allow you to trade 15 contracts, 10 contracts, depending on what account you use. Don't do it. One contract. One contract. Don't try to pass the whole thing in one trade. Ain't going to happen. You're going to get wrecked. They want you to touch the stove. Stove is nice and hot. And every time you touch the stove, they get paid. Don't touch the stove. All right, 68.32. ES is still climbing here. 20 points up on the day. And NASDAQ is up too. About 100 points and going. Up and away. We have put selling, call buying. That is all very supportive. More put selling than call buying, though. 429 million of puts sold. 257 million of calls. Still going, NASDAQ. No stoves left. Yeah. Take a look at gold. Gold has put on a beautiful downward trend, started by a beautiful 3C high volume top wick. We now have high volume here at 40.83 to begin a possible bounce. As long as they hold 40.86.5, I would still look to play long biased on gold. If they give that out, then we're going to downtrend and retest 79.4 with that little high volume bottom wick there. So my overall target on gold, if they were to bounce, of course, we'll play the backup top illiquidity. Otherwise, 50% move, approximately 57 or so. I'm looking for one good solid trade in all this. One good solid trade. UBS put out a prediction that the S&P will climb 16% next year. 16%. and put us almost at 8,000. I have a question. If I bought gold ring back in 2017, for example, is worth 10K, are we looking at a double that? Minus fees and premium, yeah. That is obscene. Oh, it depends on the you know, the weight, how many grams you've got. But yeah, minus fees and premium. I need the ring back. Yeah. All right, gold is chilling 40.88. Nasdaq putting on a couple of top wick. I need no, that's not what I need. I need that. We have virtually no data today. We have a 5-minute top wick, 1-minute top wick. Not really a lot of volume here. My wife let me pick the ring, fattest ring possible. I love gold. I have a one of those fitness rubber rings. I hate jewelry, so I was like, I want the cheapest Zeus ring that you can find, and it's an FDE or color, flat dead earth. Blanks are closed tomorrow. They are. Still a little bit of red coming back off. Am I streaming tomorrow? Yeah. Markets are open. Just the banks are closed. What's up, Street Salsa? How you doing? Still going green. Nothing but green, baby. Nothing but green. I've got a whiskey barrel ring. Interesting. New high of the day. Nasdaq is still skyrocketing. No volume, no short. Veterans Day. No volume, no short. We have nothing but put selling. There's no call buying. In fact, they're selling calls here too. But it's all, there's a tremendous amount of put selling, which is positive gamma, and Nasdaq is absolutely ripping and a tearing. Zero shorting because there's no volume. My eyes right now, you either remain long or you look down here for volume spikes, of which we have none. Until you have a volume spike, up we go. Likely target for Nasdaq, I mean, heck, at this point, nothing's outside the reach. There's nothing left to really go for except for Thursday's highs, which is 821, which is another 200 points. Gold's starting to put on a bit of a bounce here. It's a little embarrassing to have forgotten. No, you're good. It's fine. Why do we gap up so much? Government open and stimmy checks. Liquidity, baby. Keep the printer going. Keep the printer going. 640 and going. Still going strong, baby. Up and up and up. 645. Nasdaq. We are now 15 minutes in, so I am free to roam about the cabin and put on some trades. ES is going. A tremendous amount of, we have call selling and put selling. There's no options buying at the moment. There's no options buying at the moment. If the banks are closed, will my funds be settled tomorrow? I believe they'll won't be settled till Wednesday. There we go. Get ready for the gold bounce. Heck yeah, waiting for it. There he goes. There's already one big green right there to claim it. Seems to need a premium feature of the volume candles. Yeah, Black Friday. So I think we're coming up on the Black Friday deal. I think it's the week before, and I'll post the link and blast it out, and we'll get all the deals, baby. Get ready. Still going green, nothing but green. 10 days, 17 hours, 13 minutes. November 20th. Gold, beautiful for 3C volume bounce. Amazing. Gold right here. So that bottom wick right there means you need to claim 4086.9. Once it hold that, and kind of look what we talked about yesterday on the Zoom call, is that that is a beautiful confirmation of not only structure but entry. So right here is the prior high, and look what they do with that. Prior high breaks, comes back down, and what do? They use that entry as support. So that is the market's way to confirm that you have made the correct analysis. That's a SR flip, and we're coming up 4092, looking for the next high. Stimmy check, yeah, $2,000 per family. Big red candle, NASDAQ NES, rolling over. Saw the poly market line for if we get stimmy check. Seems like the easiest gamble ever. Bet 2K on no. If we don't get it, you win 16. If we do get it, then you'll recoup some of your losses. There you go. Will only cost each family 10 grand. And yeah, but everyone gets their money. No one cares about the ramifications. They just want their money. Oh, man. How many trades did I take last week, not counting overnight? I took 17 trades across my accounts last week. Dropping, 620. 616, beautiful, beautiful. High volume 3C top wick, NASDAQ. 1 minute, we have the volume. 5 minute, nope, wrong one. 5 minute, we have right here under about 611 will get you confirmation. Extraordinary. What do you recommend as a buffer before taking a payout Top Step Express funded account? That depends on you. That depends on you. So I always kept 5 grand in my accounts, the minimum. Only in September did I try to build up a very large buffer, which ultimately led to a lot of stupid decisions. But hey, I took a crap ton of money out, so I can't really complain. But usually I'm keeping 5 grand in, and I play very conservatively. But back in September, I made $87,000 in 2 days on Top Step on each account. So I had $500,000 in funding, and that allowed me to grab a really, 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 really large head, and it caused me to make stupid decisions. So, I pulled a lot of money out, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Explain stupid decisions. Greed. It's what makes me fallible. What makes me fallible. And humbleness, of course. Massive, massive call selling. 513 million of calls sold. 429 million in puts sold. So 1 billion in negative and overall. Well, no, that's not accurate. 613 million of calls sold, and they're just absolutely piling in to the call selling here. Top wick still galore. Once we get over this 610, which we just did, downside confirmation, and down we go. Here we go. 593 here. 50% retracement will put us at 585. If we get through 585, you can justifiably start looking for the open low, which is right here at 525. But first, you got to get through the 50 right here to see if they have enough Momo. There's a tremendous amount of call selling here. Tremendous, with a capital T. There you go. That's what I'm looking at. 593 and lower. But it's really up to you, Martin. My buffer is not going to be the same for anyone else's. Everyone's going to have different expectations, different experience levels. So back when I first started, a couple $100 is all I was taking out every now and then. And it was kind of grown, so it's up to you. Pivot called. How about the why, Frumple? Nobody cares about calls. We want to hear about the whys, so give us the whys. Teach us how you call pivots, your information, your strategy. No bueno. 100-year mortgages. I love it. Let's just go do 200-year mortgages. How about that? How about that? All right. 586 is going to be the 50% on NASDAQ. We have a beautiful high volume 3C. Well, I would call it beautiful. It was a nice setup. The 1 minute had high volume. The 5 minute, yeah, technically did, but it wasn't really. It wasn't eye popping. We had beautiful top wicks, and then the third C qualified at this low price, and down we go. Gold is still holding just over the price, so there is still a bounce in effect for gold. And it will not fail until it breaches back under the 86.7. So the gold bounce is still in effect. Liquidity's coming on 67.95. Nasdaq's 25.525. Rate cuts are providing insurance to the labor market. Fed Muslim says the funds rate has declined by 250 basis points last year, of which 150 basis points were cut insurance. Interesting. Dropping back off, NASDAQ ES, both falling over. Again, if they take the 50% mark, you have justification to go for the day's lows. So if you're someone who likes to set target profits, in my opinion, you can either scale out at the 50%, and then once you clear the 50%, you can move your target profit down to low of the day. And then just take your hands off, Manos Arribas. And then you're welcome. Send me a commissions check. You're welcome, Martin. Oh. 25,585, Matt, on NASDAQ. On ES, let's go take a look. It's going to be right here, 68.2450. Still waiting. 50% of what? The opening range. 50% of the opening range. You're welcome. All right, we have wholesale inventories at the top of the hour, which is a non-event. It's a 1-star, no big deal. Then we have the three-year bond auction at 1 p.m. And that's it. Do I ever look at VIX futures since it has volume? Every now and then I will. I pay more attention to something like UVIX because the degenerates are going to use the UVIX, which is a leveraged long product on VIX. So, which that has had a tremendous amount of incredibly large volume the past month or so. 4 bond auctions today. We have, I see a 3-month and a 6-month, but those are usually not events. No one pays attention to those. And then I see a 3-year bond auction at 1 p.m., but that's only the 3 I see. Oh, anyway. Yeah, those top 3, no one even pays attention to them. That they're not something that's critical to, I guess, what we're paying attention to. The 3-year, though, will shake things up. What's up, Math? How you doing? Q puts, you could play some Q puts if you wanted to play the short side. Look at the amount of call selling here. Tremendous amount of call selling. Tremendous. 1.15. Look at that. Tremendous amount of call selling. Liquidity down is 525. Gold is still holding. As long as it holds over the yellow line here, I would remain long biased. If they clear this little liquidity patch here, then I would start targeting the pre-market highs of gold. So if you want to catch longer trades and stop scalping for break even, then take your hands off the stupid mouse and set some targets. Think critically about what's happening on the markets and not what's happening on your stupid little P&L. Stop being a jabroni. All you need is one good solid trade, and then you could log off and go enjoy the rest of your life. for me, I've got my 6.5 Creedmoor positioned at the back door for until now, until January. I'm going to schwack everything that walks by. Still going, 25,663 NASDAQ, including peacocks. Everything I can eat, I should say. Everything I can eat. 25,633 NASDAQ. Bouncing back up, bounced right off the 50. Couldn't claim the 50. Do I eat peacock eggs? Negative. I eat chicken eggs. You should have seen my doctor's face when I asked what's the largest caliber I can shoot right now. I bet. All right, NASDAQ is climbing. Bounce off the 50, reclaiming the high. Bam. Tremendous amount of call selling. 1.2 billion in calls sold. About to take the highs up on NASDAQ. ES is not quite up there. Gold's still holding long. Beautiful long 3C. As long as it holds the yellow line, up we go. Did you say they made a 6? Yeah, I did. I'm glad they're expanding on that platform too, because it's a fantastic round. I love it. I've been shooting long distance since about 15 years ago, and it's the easiest round to shoot long distance. It's crazy. You just put your crosshairs on whatever you want to shoot, anything over 700 yards, and you pull the trigger. It's easy. What you got, Math? Nice. That was a, let's see, 80-point bounce on NASDAQ and climbing, right through the highs, 650. My favorite short round. There you go. Reminds me of Indiana Jones. Gold still holding long, baby. So I saw this in a YouTube video yesterday. Hopefully it was mine. I wanted to share this with you guys. When you have two large opposite candles like these two, you can add, subtract them. You get a top wick or bottom wick candle, which is a very telling sign once paired with volume. In this case, if you subtract the bullish candle and the bearish one, you get a large bottom wick. Change of character. Interesting. 68.33. Savage 110 Precision. I love Savages. Yeah, they're great. What does call selling, put selling actually mean? Doesn't there mean there's more calls than puts? Well, on a move up like this, you do expect call selling. You do expect a lot of call selling just to take profits off, especially as premiums are elevated for the call side, which they are now with this kind of a move. So that's not surprising. It's just, how is it sustained? Is it a momentary call selling event, or is it a long scale call selling event? But that, the unique thing about spot gamma is that they present it in delta notional, not just simply calling and selling. So it gives the entire exposure to the option chain from the institutional's perspective in the form of notional. So all right, well, what's the net notional? Right now, the net notional is 1.2 billion on the call side, meaning that the collective market on the institutional side is negative 1.2 billion notional, which means the market in general is sell to open calls or sell to close. We don't know, just selling them. So, and it's presented in institutional. You could turn on retail. You could turn on retail side too, but I've got it turned on institutional. And now it's just their way to translate whether or not they think it's institutional retail. It's not ironclad. It's just what they think is institutional versus retail through position sizing, because they know some retail jabroni like me and you are not going to be putting on $570 million call sale activity. So they categorize that as institutional. Whereas the $1,500 call sales, they don't pay attention to. We had Fed speeches right there, Fed Muslim. Yeah. I see what you mean. I mean that right there, that theory. I mean that's taken care of through multiple time frame analysis, because a 1 minute large red right beside a 1 minute large green is going to show up as a bottom wick on a 3 minute chart or as a 5 minute chart. So I don't really understand that. I guess it's multiple time frames would take care of that. As long as you're doing multiple time frame analysis, that you're going to see that represented. So I mean, just watch for the volume, watch for the price action, and just think critically. That's all it is. Just don't get wrapped around the visual nature of the charts. Just think critically. We have bottom wicks across multiple time frames. We have high volume as indicate buying. $10,000 flight delays. Better get out flight for Christmas. Yeah, we were seriously considering canceling our Vail trip, which is no bueno. One, because of the flights, and two, because of the shortage of labor in Vail. Because if you've ever been to Vail, it's about 95% foreign employees, which obviously requires work visas, and it's not looking good. Amazon Music introduces fan groups. Oh, that's important. Thank you. Gold's moving. Little top wick, 25,622. Let's see. Gold is still breaking out as long as you remain over this level. Now, kind of the conversation we had last week. If you're looking for a target profit on a number name, such as gold like this, there's a couple of ways to go about doing this. If you have a strong suspicion that this thing is going to keep on going and evidence to support your suspicion, then set your target profit, set your stop loss, and take your hands off and just let it go. Forget about the back and forth stuff. So for me, is now that it's claimed the prior liquidity, move your stop up to about 40.90.5. That'll lock in 4 points of profit, which is phenomenal on gold. Set your target profit and just shut down your broker. Shut it. Forget it. Move on. And whatever you come back to tomorrow is what you come back to. Because that is a fantastic bounce, highly qualified on the 3C gold bounce. And now that it's broken structure, it's all bulls and upside, baby. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. I'm going to be focusing much more on gold this week with NASDAQ doing this back and forth trapping bulls and bears. It's much cleaner. Gold is so clean. I've blown 3 evals. That's a weird name for a dude. Evals. I don't know. Sorry, I don't over risk, so I think it's my entries. I took that trade at 594, so I had to get out for a negative at 634. What could I do better? Let's take a look. I don't over risk, so I think it's my entries. I took that trade at 594, and how did I get out for the negative? What could I do better? All right, which trade are you talking about? So just so I can clarify. So 594, assuming you went long at 594, which was the bounce off the 50, and you got out negative, or you shorted 594. Well, if you got out negative at 634, that means you shorted. So I'll assume that you shorted 594. Well, you're shorting in an area that you need a breakdown. So I mean, it's not necessarily the cleanest entry here. You were late on the short. The short entry for me would have been, let's go look at the 5. Short entry is going to be about 610, 620. So you got in about 10, 15 points too late, at which point you were shorting right at the 50% mark. So you're playing with fire there, trying to short breakthroughs. I wouldn't be shorting there. So if anything, if I'm looking for that breakthrough, you'd have to look for a retest. But if you're not in by then already, then yeah, you're shorting right into that 50 mark. think my top step is broken. My back is broken. I don't have top step open right now. Let me take a look. So just bad location. It was late. Yeah, you were a little late. You were a little late, which that's okay. Make note of it. You know, that's the point of those questions, which is a fantastic question. So make note of it. My spinal. A chronic trading gambler won the lottery in the class 5.572 million institutional call buying and dramatic trading brony. Yeah. We are still holding right up here at the highs. This looks like absorption for 660 on NASDAQ. 1.4 million calls sold and falling. What's up, Will? How you doing? Gold's still going, baby. I'm telling you, take your hands off gold. Let it go. Gold's been my huckleberry the past 2 weeks, man. I love it. Senate vote on Sunday opens the door to the government reopening. Yeah, they're not done yet, but big volume on gold. Yeah, so we have a tremendous amount of volume there. So instantly, that perks me up. I'm looking. Why do we have a volume spike? What kind of price action is associated with that volume spike? I'm going to go to the 1. I'm going to go to the 5. Obviously, right now we have nothing but bottom wick higher. So unless I see a candle present a large top wick here that smashes the range, I'm staying long because that's just one of the 3 C's. Are we at a strong location? Negative. We're at about, well, we're right at the 50% of this mark, whichever. So that could be a location, but that's not strong enough to get me out of a trade. If we're coming up on like a monthly high, I might go ahead and close. But I need to see more information to get me out of a short. Now I'm just paying attention because we have the highest volume candle of the day. So if they present a high bot top wick on the 5 and the 1, then I'll look to get out. Until then, mono cerebus. Nothing's changed. Status quo remains. Status quo remains. Remain long biased on gold. NASDAQ, I don't care. Whatever. They can bite me. So the House is not even back at DC yet. So they can't even vote on it yet. It's going to be a couple of days. They've been having a great vacation. Heck yeah, baby. It's the government, man. What gold can I trade on a TPT funded account? When I type gold, it says non-tradable symbol. GC. You can trade GC. You might have to sign up, subscribe to the data. I would probably guess either tomorrow or Wednesday we're going to kick off the next TPT trading competition. So if you are looking to get there, you want to get in the competition, be ready. Be ready. 40-point trade locked as I move my profit stop to 25,630. Nice, there you go. Let it ride, baby. NASDAQ, new high of the day. They're absorbing for 660, what they just grabbed. If they hold that, it's going to break out again to the next level. But right there, that's what I was looking for, about 660. They just tapped it. They just tapped it. Do you think 5 micros are too much on a $150,000 new? For 5 micros? No, that's if you're going to pay for the 5, if you're going to pay that for the $150,000 account, you can use a little bit bigger position sizing. But I hope that you are experienced enough to do that. That's the key. Is that 5 micros is plenty, is perfectly fine on a $150,000 account for TPT. It's just your experience that is the caveat there. What is a TPT competition? Well, the competition we've already done one, and it appears we do have a winner, assuming it's confirmed. I have to confirm it with the TPT first, but it's the first person to present evidence that you have passed an eval, got funded, and kept the funded account open for 30 days while actively trading is the key word. No scalping. No quick in and out, just to check the day trading box. Actual trading. And you win $1,000. I'll give you $1,000 cash. $1,000 cash. Hey Frumble, you could post that. We have a news feed, but you don't have to keep posting news headlines in the channel. I'd rather see system stuff, not news headlines. Like we have a news thing. Is cash still legal? I don't know. There we go. New high 660. Looking for I would probably guess 670 now. After that, it's 750. They are buying back the calls, so they've bought back about 500 million of the calls that they sold. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. NASDAQ gold, baby. Give it to me. Give it to me. What's up, Nafton? Back again for the third time. Guess who's back? Love it. Arguably the least news-oriented server for the most part. News is lazy, man. You know, that's the reason why most servers and people trade news is because it's easy. It doesn't require learning. All right, well, that's easy to say. There's news, there's the bounce, there's volume, whatever. So, no, I get you. I get you. I took it as a positive thing. And I look at it as a positive thing. News is liquidity, period. You and me both. You and me both, math. NASDAQ is still holding. Well, NASDAQ is having this little wedgie style price action into 660. If we zoom back, this is where the big SR flip maintains. And you see it right here. NASDAQ is having some problems here for a good reason. There's SR flip. All you need is one singular trade. That's it. You don't need to be here all day. Find yourself one good trade. That's it. Who cares about, the massive blast off or sell offs? You just need one good trade. Get your money and then go hunting. Go hunting. House members are ordered to return to Washington. $625. Not going to be hunting much this year. New baby refuses to sleep during the day. It's all hands on deck. Yeah. I had that problem when I first had a baby. Because it was my thought process. Well, if I just kept the baby up till like 9:30 p.m., it would be tired and sleep throughout the day. Which is the exact opposite. It was killing us. It would all day long, screaming, crying. So instead, we put it to bed at like 6 p.m. Fixed everything. It was crazy. It was great. I had a baby. Once in a while. Babies don't care what you want. Bring the baby in the stand. Heck yeah, baby. Actually, if the baby's cry is almost the same sound of a doe bleat. So it could work. The deer will come running. Take whatever best market offers and chillax. That's right. That does not. All right. Well, NASDAQ is still holding. I don't have a NASDAQ trade on. Is anyone else having problems with the RTrader Pro login? Don't know. I do not. That's right, math. That's right. How's it going on YouTube? What y'all doing? Anyone put on any good trades? $1.4 billion calls sold. ES is still chilling. This is a back and forth garbage action. NASDAQ has been dead flat now for about 20-25 minutes. 200 yards from your house. Nice passer. That's within that one on the right is money. Look at that. Beautiful. Was that in the middle? A grenade? Claymores, yeah. Yeah. Gold is still holding. 40.96. NASDAQ is up here chilling. IED. Do you think this is the accumulation stage before the breakout? The longer this stays up here without a retracement, I would say that this is absorption for a higher price on NASDAQ. It can't come off the highs, which looks like absorption. So it could be. They need to be able to attack under 620 or so to get the movement back down. Otherwise, it's going to keep on just going. Need $9 on the Qs. There you go. Don't spend it all in one place, man. Gold still holding. Still long biased on gold. Not until it breaks structure. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. NASDAQ dumped all the way back over. Beautiful. Let's see. Man, they are selling some calls, man. Look at this. Aggressive call selling. What's the 5-minute look like here? 5-minute has multiple top wicks. Man. There's a couple of, this whole little 615 area is your support. You see they keep on bouncing off of this. But other than that, it's still holding up here. This is just the baseline here of this whole range. Bounce back up, 639. Just gathering inventory, that's all they're doing. They're gathering weapons and ammo. Where am I getting the call selling information? I'm getting this from Spot Gamma. It's the bottom left software on the YouTube stream there. So I interpret it as, I look for this as identifying skew. What's the overall net theme of the option chain on this short dated scale? Because right now, the market lives and dies by the zeros right now. 70+% of all option chain activity is 0 DTE dated, which is extraordinary. And because of that, I have to watch what the market is generally skewed as. Right now, we are seeing about 174 million of puts sold and 1.6 billion in calls sold. So this is why we have now been stagnant since 9:45 for about an hour now, because they're just dumping every call instead of buying it. Now, once they kind of gather here, let premiums come off as they've sold. If they start buying back the calls, then we'll put on the secondary trend to the upside, which most likely will start attacking Thursday's high. But we're just chilling here. So far, we got a beautiful 40 point bounce there off of a bottom wick. But, yeah, gold is my bread and butter today. They look beautiful, Kennedy. Beautiful. I want some. Especially after ending my fast, man. Three days. I did three. I'd like to try to do longer. Was it health or spiritual? A little bit of both. A little bit of both. I like to do one every now and then just because I'm a glutton for like punishment. I like doing hard stuff. That sucks. But yeah, it was good stuff, man. All right, this is attacking back high. This is the fourth attempt to break out. The sellers cannot retreat from this supply at all. 662 is a topside liquidity. Gold still breaking out. What y'all think? Bueller? Anyone? Gold still climbing. Gold is still beautiful, man. Hasn't broken structure yet, so you remain long biased. Set a target profit and take your hands off the chart. Lock in. This is a fantastic, fantastic move. Not trying to spam, but I think you missed a question a few times. Sorry about that. Can you trade gold outside of your trading window, like super early in the morning or later in the window? That's up to you. That's you define where you want to trade. Now gold is going to follow slightly different rules than the indexes because it doesn't have a defined open and close. Well, it does, but not in the same manner that the S&P does. So you can make an exception for those type of products, but that's up to you. Me personally, I've gotten to the age where I value my emotional state more than my financial state and when it comes to trading. So having peace of mind at 8 o'clock at night to me is more valuable than being stressed out because, my family's wondering why I'm freaking out and stressed at 8:30. It's like, Daddy, put me to bed. Sorry, Daddy's in a short position when the market's blasting long. So, to me, I don't like trading at nighttime. I don't like getting locked into trades. I don't like wasting time in front of the charts. But all that said is that gold does put on some fantastic moves throughout the evening. I would not recommend trading the indexes overnight, but gold does put on some good moves overnight. The key there, though, is just look for volume spikes. Identify what a volume spike is and look for them. Nasdaq's breaking out. Here we go. I can't remember how many times. I mean, this is a phenomenal market where they keep on putting these extraordinary trends. Look at this. Wednesday we had a blast off trend. Tuesday we had a blast off morning. Just crazy, crazy moves, dude. It's beautiful. Even in the middle of a downtrend, we are just blasting off. Family life is way more important. Change that since that's the new beta, Matt. You can switch it back to the old one. I personally do not like the new beta. I've made my comments known to them. It's just very clunky. Do you feel like gold is tied to the market up downs? Not in the same manner that the S&P is. How do I switch back? If you go to the top left, you'll see Hero Upgrade. Click that off. There's a little slider bar at the top. Toggle switch, I should say. Small caps drilling. Yeah. How do you trade once price hits an area multiple times? Does it usually show weakness for a breakout? It depends on how it reacts when it hits that level. So if you're looking for, if I've got a resistance that they keep on getting sweeping rejections off of, then that's going to be a traditional double top, triple top, and then an eventual sell-off. But this right here, this looks like a breakout for absorption, which is what's happening here. The sellers cannot retreat off this price line at all. Every single little attempt to get away from it is immediately bought back up, and it's going higher and higher. And eventually, we're going to initiate the next leg of the trend, which is going to take us to probably 700 or so, 750. So if you're looking to short, you need a little bit more selling activity out of this. So because what's the market trying to tell you? Let's think about what we kind of talked about this morning, is that we get so wrapped up on the visual candles, like candles, candles, candles. Forget the candles. Look at what's actually occurring on the market. What are they trying to do? And the price cannot get away from this 650, which tells us we have more buyers than sellers. There's not enough supply to overcome the buyers. It's an auction. There's more buyers than sellers until otherwise stated. So now, because there's more buyers than sellers, price will keep driving higher. The demand is still there until we get the high volume top wick, which shows sweeping sellers, which means we finally have more sellers than buyers. It does have a slightly wedgy-ish to it, yes, but to me, it's not the typical manner in which they're doing it. They can't get away from this move. Now, we eventually could sell off because we're forming a wedge, but we're not there yet. Not yet. NASDAQ, 1.3 billion. They're not even touching puts today. Now they have liquidity up to 687. It's been a relentless green trend today, all day since the open. Trump tells air traffic controllers to get back to work. Oh, this guy. This guy. All right. I haven't touched ES NASDAQ in many weeks. I only traded gold in PM and AM. I tend to be busier in RH, so it's a good instrument. There you go. Hey, do what's best for you. Carve out the market what worked for you. Try to think less is more. One trade a day. Stop being the jabroni that sits in front of the computer all day. Another top wick. Have been working on my Trump impression? I have not. I have not. I'm just terrible at it. Honestly, my impression game is going downhill now that, my kids are getting older and we don't do reading books with voices anymore, or like now real books. So I don't do voice impressions anymore. It's unfortunate. I have to retire my Kermit voice and everything else. Reagan impression. 15-minute chart top wicks right here. Cannot get over this line. This is a line that if you zoom out, you can see exactly where I'm getting it from. Right here. SR flip. This is why if NASDAQ closes this level, I think it's going to be up and away till the Thursday's highs. It's embarrassing to admit, but I sometimes practice a Trump impression while I'm in my car. It's horrible, but it's a tiny bit better. Oh, I've practiced the Trump impression. I just can't do it. NASDAQ is all liquidity high. Please confirm. Now it is. Yep. Up to 700. Big time. Huge. More liquidity than we've ever seen. Some people would say it's the best liquidity. Air traffic controllers that refuse to get back to work will be docked. This guy's cracking the whip now, man. Sure, don't pay us for 6 months, but get back to work. 25,700 liquidity up top. She'll probably move out when she can. There goes my daily baker. There you go. Nah, man. The time of 18-year-olds moving out is over. Now it's time for family compounds. Build family compounds. Stock up ammunition and weapons, family compounds. Just don't be like David Koresh. The gold dumping? Let's take a look. Yep, move back lower. Broke structure. Did you ever watch the series about Netflix on him? It was actually pretty good. Yeah. What was wrong with him? Yeah. You know, my problem with those dudes, the guys that, you know, use religion as a way to form their own cults, is that for some reason they always feel like it's God's word to be attracted to little kids, to young girls. I was like, there's always a common theme with these guys. It's no bueno. He wasn't any different. ES and NASDAQ are both slowly chilling up here. Definitely. Heresy. Interpretation, man. $6.52. The raw small caps are getting wrecked, though, man. Getting wrecked. Small caps are not liking this. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. That's absolutely math. There's only two options. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. If you want to short something, do RTY, man. All the way down. Gold's coming back off. NASDAQ is up, up, and away, baby. Once they take out this, I'd look for 700. 700. $646. Am I on YouTube? I am on YouTube, yep. NASDAQ is about to put a new high in here. Just back and forth. There's absolutely zero selling. Zero. Not yet, at least. You need a high volume spike to get the train rolling down. Otherwise, 700 NASDAQ. Gold is coming off here. Still holding 4092.5, but gold top wick. It's coming down. NASDAQ's about to put another high of the day in. Would you edge? Yes, absolutely. Once you break structure, you got to get out of the trade, which that absolutely did. Absolutely. Remember, right side of the V. If it starts putting on right side of the V to the downside, it's your time to get out if you're long. I thought they were going to go there, but they bottom wicked. NASDAQ is still back and forth on this 1 minute. That's a large 1 minute candle there. Is that going to be another bottom wick to trap them and go? It's garbage price action regardless. 15 minute is showing multiple top wicks. That's 15 minute over the SR flip. That yellow line is the SR flip. That line is the SR flip. It's your make or break. Underlying weakness is quite evident today. The market is starting to slide quite red. We woke up 10 out of 10 green S&P. Guess what? It's only 50-50 red and green now. And it's about to break 70-30 red-green. This is a once again a tech-driven green session because everything else is sliding, getting smoked. Interesting. The VIX is still holding 18. They're not liquidating the VIX. On down. I was using Bookmap subscription and only use the same feature that Charles Schwab lets you subscribe for a lot less. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, absolutely, don't blame you. You know, don't pay for Bookmap unless you intend on getting all the features out of Bookmap. Gold, still dumping. NASDAQ is still top wicking, trying to give it out. Oil's bouncing. I don't know, man. One good trade on gold, and that's about it, man. It's just no trade here. I don't like this back and forth stuff. In my opinion, do not chase long positions unless you break over the SR flip. And get yourself a 3C if you want a short. I'm sticking to 1 to 2 trades a day, and sometimes I get bummed out that I don't act on a move I clearly identify as a 3C, so I sit out not to chase. Going to 11 to 12 this afternoon, volatility dies down and break increases. What is that? Wanting to get a trade in the eye. Yeah. What to do? Don't get all bummed out, man. You know, it's not about any one day. It's about every day. It's about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, not now. So forget about it. Forget about it. Hey, how you doing? You know, just put on one trade. That's it. They are absolutely crushing calls. $2 billion in calls sold. $2 billion in calls sold. All right, there's a couple of things you could do, JDM. Pick a couple of different names to trade. Don't stick to NASDAQ or ES. Go to gold, oil, NASDAQ, ES, RTY. Trade those 5 names and identify your parameters for entry across all 5. Forget about any kind of bias. Unless you're swing trading, forget about the bias. Who cares? Who cares if the market's bearish or bullish? Forget about it. Unless you're swing trading. If you're not, forget about it. Come into every day with a clean bias. Trade those 5 different names. Make sure you're setting clean examples. Very clear entries. High volume, bottom wick, higher high for a long, and the reverse for the short. And that's it. If you don't get it, so be it. You could take that'll allow you to take your max trades per day or no trades, and either one is okay. It's more because if you can think like that and trade like that, I'm telling you, you're trading. You'll start to become a trader. Where do I post news? I don't know if I don't think it's necessary to post news. Unless it's breaking. If it's breaking news, go for it. Post it. But every 30 seconds, we don't need that. The news feed channel works fine. Unless it's breaking news, then go for it. I don't care. If it's something massive, like holy crap, Trump's about to nuke Poland, go for it. I was watching a World War II history this weekend. That's why I said Poland. Yeah. So think like a trader, not like a retail jabroni, and it'll completely change your mindset. Kind of like hunting. Spending the day in the woods hunting just because you don't kill a deer doesn't mean it's a bad day. The worst day in the woods is better than any day at a job, right? Same concept. You're hunting for a trade. guess I want to make it so bad that I'm thinking you missed it again. Well, I get it. I completely get it. That little desperation factor of wanting to make this work be profitable, that's fine, but you got to think long term. This is not a short-term game. If everyone else is failing, think about why they're failing. Just do what others aren't doing. Same thing. Why do you think everyone is 78% body fat? Because everyone watches Netflix and eat cookies all day. Do what everyone else is not doing. Fast. Rice and ground beef. Work out. Do what the traders aren't doing, which means 1 to 2 trades a day. Get your one trade on and then get out. Just do what others aren't doing. Period. Everyone's loser. Most of Americans, most of the world, people are categorically they're losers because they want comfort. And I say that not in an insulting way. It's just the way it is. Do what others aren't doing. Do what others are not doing, and you'll be profitable. It's not that difficult. 1 to 2 trades a day, high quality setups, shut down the brokerage. Period. This doesn't have to be complicated. You're going to lose sometimes. You're going to win sometimes. It's just the way it is. Yeah, everything else is dumping red. We now have a 60% red S&P. 60%. It was 100% this morning. Now it's 60%. I just hit 19% body fat. At least there's what the lady at the gym said. Nice. That's pretty good. $2.2 billion calls sold. Absolutely piling into puts. Or I'm sorry, sold calls. Interesting. Call selling is bearish. It is bearish, but it's a different strategy. Put selling is proactive, it's aggressive. You're looking for directionality. Call selling, you're not necessarily looking for directionality. You're just not looking for further upside. So it's more of a zone. It's like zone defense versus man-to-man. It's a little bit different strategy. He's feisty on Mondays. I love it. Your comment that it's not about today, but it's about 5 to 10 years now is so accurate. It is. It is. You can either do what needs to be done, or you can just shut it down. Just go ahead and save yourself years of wasted effort and money and just quit. Do what needs to be done. Do I have a video on how you incorporate hero into your analysis? I don't, but it's about to be released. That's called positive gamma, Lowen. Positive gamma. Can't be wrong, but looking at YM dumping, doesn't feel like the ES will run some highs. I agree. So with the option chain doing what it's doing, with the small caps dumping, with the S&P turning more and more red, I don't think that we're going to go up even higher yet unless things change back. Because right now I'm seeing a whole bunch of bearishness out there except for the big tech. Single point of failure right now. Tech is bright green, man. Bright green. It's like that scene of Seinfeld with Kramer, except green, not red. Just massive green, except everything else. Polymarket says 12 to 15. Government opens. What if it fails? What if they don't pass it and the market dumps back over? That's crazy. If the government for some reason doesn't open this week, I think we are going to cancel our Vail trip. I'm not even going to deal with that stuff. We'll reschedule in the springtime. Chicken scene. Alrighty. Gold is dumping. she goes. Down she goes. What y'all think? What you think? Is RTY still sliding? I'm trying to maintain awareness on everything at the moment. I'm seeing 2.2 billion calls sold, 290 million of puts. So now they're starting to buy puts and sell calls. They're buying puts and selling calls, which is actively downside positioning. There we go. There's a big red. There we go. Let's see what they're going to do now. Punk. I think lowering expectations for the remainder of the day might be the best. Yeah, 100%. Now they've taken out, we do have a 3C top wick forming here at 611. It's slow, but it's going. It's going. Even gold dumped. Look at that. Fantastic. Fantastic. Gold is so clean, man. So fresh and so clean. I miss the 90s. There you go. NASDAQ and ES are both trickling lower. We have a deepening red S&P. This is where market awareness really comes into play, and this is the sectors. This morning, that was 100% green, bright green. So green I had to wear green filtering glasses just to look at the charts. Now, 60% red, plus the XHB is also red now. So everything is dumping. The market is looking very weak at the moment, except for tech. Tech is super green. We have 2.6 billion in calls sold. This green line right here is so far down I have to minimize the screen to get it all to fit. They're now also, in addition, which is a change of character, we are now buying puts. So from up until now, they haven't been doing any put activity. Now they're actively buying puts. We've gone from 0 puts to 670 million puts in notional. So now we've got call selling, put buying. We have a market structure that's shifting lower. We have RTY and Dow the dumping. And now the RTY or the NASDAQ and ES are both putting on high volume 3C top wick over, and down we go. Now we're rocking and rolling here. Once we take out the 50%, which they just did, we're going to target lows of the day. Market awareness right there. Market awareness. On NASDAQ and the S&P. 550 will be the next target up. There we go. Still extending downward, especially as people try to buy the dip, and there's no dip to be had. It's still going to extend lower. ES and NASDAQ are both down. There we go. $552. I've tightened my long stops once we got onto the small caps. I'm so happy it's not about the money, it's about the confidence, and that feels different. It does feel different. It's cool to see those long reversals yeah, 100%. I'm looking at gold and presuming you went long around 40.80, which would have been taking profit given the breakout and flush. Gold right here. I was long on gold a little bit later than that, over the yellow line. And once the gold held that support resistance flip, confirmation of support, breakout, once you break structure here, which is about 40.93, that's going to be your first indication. So there's a couple ways you could turn about doing this. You could think, all right, well, I'm going to maintain long until they break back all the way over. You could wait until it breaks structure, which would have been 40.94, and then they came all the way back over. Because the whole theme here, what am I thinking about? If I'm looking for a reversal back down to the downside, right side of the V. Once they start to form the right side of the V, to the downside, I want to be out of any long positions, and that's what I did. You break structure, you get out. NASDAQ is dumping, ES is dumping. NASDAQ just filled 550, and full steam ahead. Now we have a full bearish run on zeros. Now look at the puts. Look at the puts. Change of character. Now they're buying puts. Change of character. Everyone trying to get all bulled up at the top. Right here. 3 C's, baby. 3 C's all the way. Dum da 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 da. Michael Gayed posts imminent. Imminent. All you need to do is wait. One singular trade, baby. Hey, I appreciate you calling out RTY, Agnostic. That was, I completely missed it until you talked about it. So, it's good stuff. NASDAQ is getting wrecked. Looking for the low of day 527 and going. Oh, stupid indicator once again. I need a way to lock indicators where they don't delete them. I'm pretty sure that guy runs the wrong way. Well, yeah. I get you. I feel you. 525. Coming all the way back over, baby. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. We have volume coming in to support this move into the day's lows. Perfect wedge on gold. Nice. Yeah, I'm out of gold. They just bounced off the support, though, so it's showing that that little breakage was still a great support. Because look at that. But yeah. NASDAQ is still drilling. No higher high. Still coming on down. 40, 25, 525 looking for. On down. Who intends to open up a Polymarket account once it goes live in the United States? Don't lie to me. 25, 537 and dropping. Looking for 500. Beautiful. Whole complete market structure change. Now another one, XLF, is red now. What's Bank of America doing? Bank of America is coming up to their 2008, 2007 levels. What's the deal with the stimulus from the tariff revenue? Why is Trump offering this? Why do you think Trump is offering this? Because he knows what's coming, and he wants to lubricate the slides of midterms. Ease the tension, baby. Just ease the tension. Go easy on somebody else. Oh, midterms are coming up. You know, he's 1 year through his presidency. We've got midterms coming up here in another 12 months, and he knows what's happening. You know, we're on. I think everyone can agree that things are not that great in terms economically. So he is going to, you know, he's just putting that out there. You know, he wants to make sure that his baby, which is the tariffs, are going to be looked upon positively, and he's offering $2,000 per family from the tariff revenue. So coming on down, 25,536 and dropping. Thank you. Still dropping. 534. Massive put buying. 1 billion in puts, 2.5 billion calls sold. Incredibly bearish options chain. Incredibly bearish. What do you think people will do with that 2K? Put it in the market, yeah. Still coming down. Do you think he's going to hand out checks? I don't think so. I don't think it'll happen. He's talked about this before. I don't think it'll happen. He said 2,000 per family, if I remember right. There we go. 527. New low of the day right there. They just engulfed the whole candle, baby. They just engulfed the whole candle. Oh yeah. Let's go, baby. Let's go. 1.2 billion in puts, 2.6 billion calls sold. I'm making deer Slim Jims this year, speaking of which. What a fantastic awareness, man. That was right there. That was a real-time shift in market conditions. And I hope you paid attention because that was glorious. Every bit of that was glorious. Markets broke down. Small caps got wrecked. VIX spiked. XLF, the bank sold off. Put buying picked up, call selling picked up, just phenomenal. And then once we took under 615, down we go. Down we go. Beautiful. It's all technical, baby. It's all technical. That's right. How do you check small caps? RTY and Dow, RYM. So if you're looking on the stream, here. So here's my futures. I've got a futures block that I check futures on my watch list. RTY and YM. Those are going to be the way I check small caps quickly. There's better ways to do it, obviously, but that's the quick overlooking litmus test for small caps. NASDAQ is getting wrecked. And then I've got my S&P, my sectors of S&P, which is right there. Still getting wrecked. 495 and falling, baby. Here we go. Now it's getting fun. Now it's getting fun. Let's go zoom out. There's the SR. Oh, I meant to mention Mojo. You still here? I meant to answer your question. SR flip. Let me know if you're here. Come on, Mojo. Where you at, buddy? Mojo, come back. I know you've got my voice on your speakers. Mojo. Return to computer. There you are. All right. SR flip right there. So the longer time frame going back to November 4th, we have a bottom wick and then more bottom wicks and then now a top wick. SR flip. So that's a very prominent liquidity zone and we are reducing right off of it. We just ate up the last remaining liquidity on the book, which was 500. Already up 100% on Q puts. Nice XX. Lamen XS. My kid's destroying the house with actual juice boxes. No ruse. Setting a stop for a minute. Don't do that. What would you say a good target is for NASDAQ? It depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for a full-on sell-off, our first target would be 458 would be the next target from here. 458. After that, you can look for either the pre-market low, which is 269, or the actual open or the close from Friday, which is 222. Man, I haven't shot a 222 in a long time. I've seen a 222. That's an old round. Still going, baby. Boom. Keep on going. Does history continue? Where a massive green move when the government opens and then a 3 to 4% sell-off? Does that continue? Still going. It didn't open yet. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Getting ahead of myself. VIX is back to 1860. VIX refuses to deflate. Over that then, now that things are going like this, we have a high volume spike. In fact, the highest volume candle of the day just occurred at 11 o'clock. So, if they close over 516, you can play long until 538. If they close over 538, I would look for at least a 50% move, if not a full recovery on the 3Cs. That's a big old if, though, and that's on the 1 minute. If you go to the 525 or so, we'll start to the right side of the V under some volume. If this fails again, then we are going to start downshifting into the next target, which is going to be 450. Put buying is still strong. Call selling is still strong. And the market is still very red. Except for tech, of course. Be smart about stuff. If you've already taken a trade, then, go get you some lunch. Go play some pickleball because your day's over. Any thoughts on closing the gap? I do think we will close the gap lower. It's just a matter of time of when. Next idea for perks and membership is an OM voiceover alert for volume. I tried that once with IBKR. I had an audio file for IBKR, but it was annoying as crap. I had it on for a month and I couldn't do it anymore. It was fun when I was winning, but I would get super aggravated when I heard my voice make a goofy sound whenever I took a loss. Which, by the way, if you didn't know, you could set custom voice alerts in IBKR audio files, which is a cool feature of IBKR. You can put anything you want on there. All right, here we go. 493 and dropping. 25,450 is the next target. All the way down, baby. All the way down. 1.4 billion puts. 266 million calls sold. Amazing stuff. Look at that SR flip, man. Amazing stuff. Trump said that $2,000 payments will be distributed to low and middle income Americans using revenue collected from foreign tariffs. Anything left will be applied to the national debt. I have a crazy idea. How about all of it towards the national debt? I want Samuel L. Jackson screaming sell. Yeah, something like that. Some military stuff, but it got annoying quickly. They could really be the daily top. Well, if you're tier 2, the macro levels right now should be your best friend. You should be inviting the macro levels over for Christmas at this point because they were fantastic. They're going to use to give us the 50-year mortgages, yeah. $485.75. Still coming down, baby. SR flip on the 5-minute. High volume 3C top wick and down shifting into lower. Speaking of macros, will it dare? I wish it would. Extraordinary. Another volume spike, another bottom wick. $450 is the bottom liquidity and the next target. So if they claim a higher high here, do your thing. If they fail this, then $450 is going to be your next target here. So all you have to do is just set a target profit, set your stop, and forget about the intricacies of the price action on the 1 minute. Just do your thing. You're not trying to catch the whole move. You just want a chunk. You just want a chunk. Remember, You know, Christmas, Thanksgiving is coming up. You're going to go to parties with a bunch of pie. Don't be the guy that eats the entire pie. You'll never get invited back. No one will like you. You just want a piece. You just want a small piece of the pie. It's it. What's going to happen if tech joins the downside? If tech does decide to sell off and join, I mean, obviously we'll have a significant downtrend, but that's a big if. Let's drink all the liquor while everyone eats pie. Here's the 5 minute attempting a higher high. We have high volume on the 1 minute. We have a bottom wick on the 5 minute. Getting over the higher high will give us the bounce. If not, we're going to 450. So NASDAQ needs to claim 524. If it doesn't, we're going to 450. Juice Box is the guy that gets drunk and starts talking politics and Thanksgiving. My wife's family is super split politically. They're hard. Oh yeah, I bet. My family was split politically big time. My uncle was super liberal. My dad was about as far right Republican as you can get, and it made for some interesting Thanksgivings because they love to talk about it and antagonize each other. There was a lot of mashed potato throwing in my household. ever seen two grown 55-year-olds roll on the ground punching each other at Thanksgiving? I have. It's good. It's great stuff. Let me tell you. Trees have fall leaves and snow is no weird to me. Yeah, it's crazy. Disagree. Eat a whole pie. Assert dominance. I like that side. I like it. So NASDAQ needs to clear this high at 525. Otherwise, 450. Who's good at creating logos? Anyone? Any of y'all good at creating like super high quality, like professional level logos? Not just copy and paste stuff. I like to update my logo a little bit for the website build. And I don't have the time or the inclination to try to learn how to do it. Blast all week, then we're actually going to open up. We drop for real. 525 close will get you at least a 50% move, at least attempt. But after that, I mean, we have 450 liquidity, we have 400 liquidity, and on down. Yeah, I've tried that, man. Maybe I'm just not prompting right, or I'm using the wrong software. I can't, like, the stuff looks very elementary, or it's weird. They put like some random crap in the image. Nice agnostic. Let's see. Gold, beautiful bounce off that level, 40.87. ES still going. NASDAQ is going. Get a month of Mid-Journey. Is that a creation platform? The Thailand Air Force has terminated its peace agreement with Cambodia. Interesting. Still can't hold 525. Do not go long unless you hold 525. Right side of the V. What am I wanting to do? I don't know. Just a, refreshed logo look. I want some good products for the website rebuild, and I don't know. Midjourney's great for that stuff. I'll take a look, definitely. Still can't close 525. You can create an image out of prompts, but other AI can do it too, decently. Midjourney offers more features and render high quality images. Okay, I'll definitely take a look. Thank y'all. That's good stuff. Right now, a half point cut in December is appropriate, as of right now. In fact, let's go take a look what the Fed tool says. What is the Fed tool? December. We have a 62.6% chance of a 25 basis points cut in December. 37% chance of a pause. This jabroni just said half a point. 50%, or 50 basis points, I'm sorry. So right now, the market is not pricing in at 50 basis points. It's only pricing at 25. That would be interesting. If they're necessitating a 50 basis point, then the things are bad. Things are worse than we think they are. We're about to find out when they start posting data. Didn't they already say no cuts lightly? They didn't say that. They said they're not guaranteed. Gold's going a lot higher. Yeah, buddy. Do not long unless NASDAQ breaches 525. I remember losing money on that comment. You kill me. You kill me, 2Dub. I'm pretty sure things are far worse than we know. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Top wick. The best analogy I've heard is that the Fed is trying to drive 150 miles an hour looking through the rearview mirror. Well, this shouldn't surprise anyone. Strict from a non-ironical standpoint, just simply looking at market history, this shouldn't surprise anyone. They were late in 2008. They were late in 99. They were late in 2018. That's just what they do. Because they would rather be late and reactive than proactive and destroy the economy. Because if they're proactive and they make the wrong decision, then they don't have plausible deniability. They're blamed and they get fired for destroying everything. But if they're late, they could blame on everything else. Regardless of the reason, is that they're always late. And they're going to be late this time. No surprise there. What will happen is that we'll go through the song and dance, we'll blast, 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 and then when the sell-off finally does come, whether it be now or 2028, they'll do an emergency basis, kind of 100 basis points at the bottom, and then it'll bounce and we'll be back to the normal bull market. It's just the way it's going to be. Always. So this shouldn't surprise anyone. 2.6 billion calls sold, 832 million puts purchased. Week 2 of using my trading journal. It's been trying to write my thoughts on my trades as soon as my stop losses hit. It has helped with consistency and keeping my stakes in the fort. Yeah, it's amazing how that works, Ben. Isn't that right? With your wife yelling in your ear. Yeah, and she's an Italian wife too, so that ain't no good. Hey. It's like that. That makes me laugh. It's about that the Shane Gillis skit of "Couple of Beers," which was hilarious. He's like, "Couple of beers can help with symptoms such as financial stress, moderate to severe Italian wife." I was cracking up with that. That was hilarious. Coming from an Italian family, I can relate with that. My aunt is extremely. My aunt is a. I would equate her to Marissa Tomei in My Cousin Vinny. Like that's my aunt completely. Sound, looks, everything. Well, in terms of hair, obviously. But is my aunt single? No, she's like 70. I hit my goal on my Express account, locked that bad boy up. My fifth day over 150% profit. Yeah, buddy. Nice noob. But he said Marissa Tomei. True. Man, you were Johnny on the spot there. A couple of beers. Another pro tip, I would use ChatGPT or Grok to generate a prompt for Midjourney. Tell you what I want a logo as distributed possible even. So you use ChatGPT, you create a prompt to get ChatGPT to give you a prompt for Midjourney. It's like a prompt within a prompt. Is that what coding is now? So if you go to college to be a coder now, you should just go get an English background, just get an English degree to learn how to write prolific prompts. It generates Midjourney specific prompts and asks you to make the background transparency. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try it out. Yeah. It's called prompt engineering. Interesting. Is this candle 3C bounce setup? 525. NASDAQ needs 525. Otherwise, you're going to get rejected. And even still, you might get rejected, but 525 will increase your confidence. I still wear the hoodie I got from you a couple of years ago. I love the material. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't sell very many of those, but they're comfortable. I still wear mine too. Nice, Maddie. Appreciate the support, buddy. Yeah, we had to shut down the clothing sales. Just nobody was buying anything. It's costing us more money than it was. All right, 525 still keeps getting rejected. You can see why it's keeping you safe there. If once we extend away from it, you play down to 450, and then after that 375. What time is it? 11:20 Eastern. You're welcome, Maddie. I was a professional photographer for 25 years, and AI killed photography. It does what it took me 15 hours and 20 seconds. Uh-oh. You talking about like editing and stuff like that? I can imagine. Here we go. 486 down to 500 or 450. 450. Look, that is the morning low right there. 526 on NASDAQ. One of the reasons we can't go above it. If you play the morning range like we do, you don't go long until you recapture that level. 525. Down we go. 450. Promptception. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to check it out. Definitely. You know what's interesting to think about in terms of employment? Think about now the amount of jobs that the federal government employs. Think about all the other jobs that may or may not be outsourced. Think about the jobs that will be efficiency downsized with the introduction of AI. At what point do we have an AI bubble that the current economy can no longer support the amount of jobs needed to keep the economy alive? Or if we have like what Elon is talking about with a population collapse with the birth rate, how many jobs are now being created simply because we need jobs they're not necessarily needed, but just because people need jobs? What happens when all that goes away? I was thinking I was being very in depth this weekend. $490 down to $450. What's up, Magabagooli? Welcome. Bienvenidos. I'm dropping. Did I get some snow at the house? We did get some snow, man. It was crazy. It was the fifth earliest snow in history. That's why they'll introduce basic universal income. Massive inflation. 488 and dropping here. Last line of defense is the day's lows right here. After that, it's 450. 450 and dropping. Can they do it? Can they do it? $830 million puts, 2.7 billion calls sold. We have a little absorption down here. That's why UBI is almost certainly going to be a thing of the future at some point. Interesting. Hero is still heavily negative delta, yes, big time. Now it's trimming up a little bit, but it's still overall heavily negative delta. Another red candles. They are absorbing into support. 450 will be the next logical target if this breaks into the next support. Makes me glad that I'm old. Yeah. The population data is factual. The baby boomers are retiring and there are not enough earners to support. Taxes will go up at a time and they're not trusted to use it correctly. 492. The average Robinhood user has 12K in their account. Charles Schwab client 305K. Interesting. So NASDAQ is chilling at the lower range here. They can't make a move. Confession time. Back when I was trading, I was reading it and you deleted it. 500, a little bit of a bounce, still going. I need 75 for my next payout. Decisions. Hey, don't force it, Twizzy. 75 will turn into 1,500. Turn into 5,000. Don't do it. Only if the trade is there. Back when I was trading with you all the time, I was doing decent. Traded my RH account from $100 to around 1,500. Beautiful. After several days of zero losses, I decided to put the entire account into zero DTEs and get one huge win so I could start trading with size. That went exactly how you would think it would, and I left out of frustration. Now I'm back and learning after wasting a few years. Well, I appreciate the feedback and the truth. That's good stuff. It's not embarrassing. You know why? Because every single person here has done that, guaranteed, myself included. So you are among like-minded individuals. One of us, Google Gobble, except for Options Noob Noob. So yeah, welcome. We're the only Discord that where people have actually done that. Everyone else is millionaires, right? So the good thing about it is that now you can learn from it. The market has a way of every single time you try to do stuff like that, the market will pause what it's doing. It'll come after you. It'll lock in on your IP address. It'll get your brokerage account information. They'll put it all over the Wall Street walls. Every single office in Wall Street will post Naftin's account and says, make sure you destroy this account. They'll do it, and then after you're blown up, they'll continue to do what they're doing. Every single time you try to size up. That's just the way they do it. NASDAQ is downshifting. NASDAQ is downshifting. Get your account too. Yeah. 100%. 2.8 billion calls sold, 900 million puts purchased. So they're still selling the crap ton out of calls. Still. This place is both a support group for recovering fools and educational zone. That's right, I'm a recovering fool. My name's Andrew, and I'm a jabroni. Big green candle back up. Here is the European close. I'm pretty sure. Don't they close now? Aren't we caught up with the time? If you want to blow up and hold a 3x ETF long during a crash. Ooh, yeah. No bueno. Or margin. You know, that's what got me. I traded heavy margin. That's what got me. Morning low still needs to hold. Exactly. So the 25,525 NASDAQ is the morning low. That's the SR flip. Not only is it the morning low, it's the liquidity for the higher high. So you could figure out whichever one, but 525 is your signal to go long. Anything under that, no bueno. Best thing I ever did was not get involved with margin. Yep. I used a lot of margin when I blew up. No bueno. Had no idea what I was doing, too. $25,508, 513. They're coming up. Large engulfing green candle. What can they do? Top wick. Can't do 525. Back and forth. Today was actually my first day training in the cage with MMA. Oh, nice. Gold's 1049 3C was just killer. Yeah, buddy. I traded that this morning. I haven't touched it since, but look at that. That was even cleaner than the first one. Extraordinary. Man, I love that. I love gold, man. What a clean product. I didn't know what I was doing. Had a few significant wins with options. I got cocky, blew the whole account. Yeah, buddy. The only decent thing I learned while I was away was how to trade with futures. How I just got to make money with them. Well, you came to the right place, Naftin. I don't know. Were you here when we talked about the 3Cs? I can't remember when you actually left. I left before that. Oh, beautiful. I love watching all your videos like crazy. Beautiful. Well, ask questions if you got them. So, we're here. 25,512 NASDAQ is still holding. If they take out 525, I'd look for a 50% recovery at least. If not, down we go. XLF has recovered back to green barely. ES is 6803 and top wicking. NASDAQ is 500, 498, 497 in top wicking. Yeah, gold was beautiful. Beautiful. If this fails at any point, target 450. You are cleared hot for 450. Flight time 30 seconds. I'll say this: OM's helped me see that I can make regular money from day trading futures. I don't think I can make it. I didn't think I could make it happen. I thought I had to get perfect to determine the direction over the last 30 days with options. I learned over these past few months. Total shift in my thinking. I love it, Matt. It's amazing. Well done, buddy. I'm super happy that we're starting to turn the corner, man. More and more people are starting to turn the corner, which is extraordinary. You know, Trader Jay was someone who's been around for a while, finally started to take money, and then guess what happened? He took one payout, and then he took another and another. There's so many people in my DMs that are finally starting to make a living out of this, at least progress towards making a living. I love it, dude. It's fantastic. It makes me feel like I'm making a difference. 489 NASDAQ down to 450. Wait, is that what you said on your custom sound? Cleared hot? Yeah. Cleared hot was one of them, yeah. So whenever I'm working with certain 3-letter agencies when I was flying, so when you're circling a target and you're ready to attack, they would clear you hot. The JTAC on the ground, which is the controller, would clear you hot, and that means that you're cleared to fire weapons. So they'd say, all right, well, Tiger 5-3, you're cleared hot, and you give them your direction, your heading, your ordnance, and then you fire the missile. So yeah, cleared hot, and that's why I put it on the IBKR. What was your call sign? I can't say. We're still active in theater, so I can't say. Gabagoo, yeah. Yeah. Weapons free. There you go. Weapons free was a good one. That's when you're doing multi-aircraft in area, that's what they would use, meaning that you have full reign on your own aircraft deployment. Even though I'm retired, yeah, I mean, I'm still assigned to. You know, I can't give away details of active missions even if I'm not in there. Did you ever have to do things you didn't agree with in the military? Yeah, 100%. It's just part of it, man. There's a reason why I have a 90% disability rating. I've seen some crap. Defined level of disagree with, yeah. Pretty sure you guys have a high value on standby that can be called back. Yep, I've got 2 years. You have 2 years to be called back once you're retired. Have I ever had to eject? Nope, never have. I wasn't a fighter. I wasn't a fighter pilot though. I've been in a fighter jet, but I wasn't a fighter pilot. Why did we get a drop on 40 points when big tech was green? Because 60% of the whole market got wrecked. So the only thing that was green was tech. Oh man. It's funny seeing the videos of the pilot selections. A10 dudes are awesome, man. You know, they try to fit personality into the aircraft too. You know, usually the guys that are very confident, great at decision making, usually get fighters. I lived 2 years of daily stress, all waiting to see if I was going to get kicked out for not taking the COVID shot because of get conviction of faith. One of the biggest regrets of my life was taking that stupid shot. Because of that, I gave in and took it, and I regret every second of it. Bunch of nonsense. I was forced. Yeah. Well, I guess you could define forced is either take the shot or you're retired. You're forcibly retired. And I love my job, and I don't want to give it up. It's the best job ever. That's right, Twizzy. That's right. All right, 476 and dropping. After that, it's 450. This looks like absorption to the downside here. No high volume bottom wick that'll hold. Anything under 525, you look for 450. You're able to refuse? Nice. There we go. 459. Next on deck. Have you considered attempting for 100%? I go back and forth with that. I have an additional item that could get me to 100%, but it doesn't really affect me, although it's legit. I just, I don't know, man. My bicep could get me to 100%, but did you see that movie with the dude flying a drone in a container blowing people up in the Middle East? Which movie? There's a couple of movies with it. All right, big old bottom wick. They just filled that 450 liquidity and then bottom wick. That was my target. But there's no 5-minute volume. The 1 minute has a tremendous amount of volume. So there you go. Florida LEO. It's not. Okay. Okay. The Marine Corps said if they wanted me to think, they'd issue me a brain. 100%. Yeah, JDM. There was a movie called Eye in the Sky. That was a lot of that was very accurate in terms of how they operated, but obviously they put a huge Hollywood spin on it. That would never happen, but. Good kill. Never saw it. I'd have to look at it. So that was a high volume bottom wick right at 450, my target. You have to check out Land of Bad. I will. I will. So my funded futures is going live with daily payouts. Might be time to add my funded futures to the repertoire. I'm a big believer in that feature. I think that should be standard. Anyone trade my funded futures? I know some of y'all have. I just can't remember how trusted it was. Anybody have any problem with my funded futures? Prefer them over TS? I'm going to check them out. If they're doing daily payouts, I'll see about bringing them on board too. I'm a big believer in daily payouts. 465. I was lucky enough to be a part of several death investigations that were falsely called COVID by hospitals. I'll tell you this. Mrs. OM was she was a director of the emergency department for the region, and she went through that COVID stuff. And at the time, she was very much pro healthcare, pro COVID shot. Hey, it's working miracles. It wasn't until the end of COVID-ish when she realized it was all nonsense. Every bit of it was manufactured. Every bit of it was nonsense. Even she is now against all of it. The biggest humanitarian scam in history. Prefer them over TS. Yeah, I'm going to take a look. I love that. That's a showing daily payouts to me tells me that they are at least somewhat invested in the trader, not just the business. Although obviously they're still a business, whatever. But daily payouts is a fantastic feature. You can't convince me it's the biggest scam. I watch the NBA. Touche, touche, touche. Since I missed most of the stream, you mind going over your plays you taken? Yep, I longed gold this morning on the breakout. Nasdaq short here at the end, and that's it. Those are the only two trades. Abandoned by the dips? No, just 525. 525 will get you a recovery. Until then, just be smart. I'm not saying don't buy the dip. I'm just saying higher highs, 3Cs. Because right now I've got 2.9 billion in calls sold. I've got 1 billion in puts purchased. I've got liquidity down to 360. I've got every single bounce is failing. I've got 60% of the S&P is red. So with all that together, I need to see the tide shift to get back into buy the dip for today's session. So all I'm saying is that demand a higher high price. That's it. 25,525 is the price. If it shifts lower, then you can lower that a little bit, so you don't wait so long for an entry. But right now we're looking for 450 breach, which was my initial target, and then after that 360. Thoughts on the daily? I'll stick to those comments. What I just said. I don't want to. I'm very skeptical to do any kind of speculation because one, look where we just rejected to. First taste of winter. What are you trying to do, Canada? Jeez. Canada's like, screw this region specifically. All right, so look at the stream here. This is the 60-minute chart. We have the Nasdaq just rejected this SR flip. There's no coincidence that we rejected right here. That's the SR flip, the liquidity zone. We failed that. We came back over. Is this a major sell-off yet? No, it's just simply a nice little top wick on the 60-minute to undo some of this liquidity overnight. If they reclaim 525, then I would look for at least a 50% move. If they reclaim that, then back up to the highs of days. No harm, no foul. Overall, though, looking at the daily chart, what I told my members is that I am not chasing this long rally until we close a higher point. And I'm not going to give you that point because they paid for tier 2, you didn't. But I am not long bias on the macro chart until we close a higher high. And we haven't done that yet. In fact, if we reject this, we're going to become well below that. Suck a tier 1. And that's the way I'm mitigating any bias I may or may not have this week, is I'm watching the levels. Because if this is a long bounce up to whenever, there's plenty of time to get into a long trade. But right now, if I go chasing this long bias and screaming for the rooftops, go long, they could top tick this and send us screening all the way down to 250 on NASDAQ, and I don't want to do that. Plus, there's so much unknowns coming up the next week, week and a half. This is not the time for bear shaming or bull shaming or pointing fingers about how right I am and how wrong you are. This is the time for patience and watching the tape, because we have a lot coming on the next 15 days. This chart is going to look drastically different by the end of November than it does now. I tried to take 2 and 3 minis on gold for the leap competition, and they forbade it. I think this is a healthier. Okay. Nice, Kennedy. I'm sorry to ask, but I've been out with work. What's up, Math? Keeping track of 2 50% levels. Nice. Did you answer the question about 25.5 if it takes out 225? If NASDAQ takes out this level of 525, then I would first target the the 580 or so, which is about the middle of the range, and then it'll go back up to the high of the day. But 525 first. The reason why 525 is such an important level is that's the prior pivot, and it's the morning low. Those are two big levels here. So there's a lot going on at 525. If they claim 525 and hold it, you could do your typical afternoon rally. If they stay under 525, then we're in a technical downtrend on the current session. Anything under the morning low into the afternoon is a technical downtrend. Am I worried about the 560 area? No. What's 560? I don't see anything at 560 here that we haven't heard he dealt with. I'm going to try up my funded futures account. If they're doing daily giveaways, I'm going to try one out, see how it goes, and if I like them, I'll bring them on. What's the draw? Daily payouts. They're offering daily payouts, which is, that's my big attraction to TPT. And if they do it too, then I'm on board with them. Any value I can bring to you all is my goal. Wednesday will be the vote for the stopgap for the government shutdown. That's the goal, at least. I bet you it won't happen until later in the week. All right, I'm calling it a day. What questions do you have? Comments, concerns? You as well. You as well. So here I'm going to post this. For NASDAQ, if you want to go long, regardless if you get an earlier entry, that 525 is going to be a big obstacle. So be patient. Right now, we are on a strong downtrend. Everything does not look very good. The market is trending towards red. We have put buying, call selling. If you're going to long, make sure you're playing the 3 C's. Other than that, maintain a short bias. 525 will kind of clear back to the upside. Other than that, y'all have a good rest of the day. Hit me up with questions. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out. See you.